guys, Yoongi here, and welcome back to my channel. This is about the 8 billionth time I'm recording this audio, and I'm considering selling my channel to spies. In all seriousness, hey guys, Yoongi here, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get on to the more serious content of today's video, can I please just start off by saying, full disclosure, I'm so sorry if my voice sounds like it's gone or going. I'm not ill. I just went on a K-pop night out last night and I screamed the lyrics to 17's Hot so loudly that I'm surprised they didn't hear me all the way from Korea. But you know, we've got things to say, so let's move past it. We can do this. I know I don't exactly have the biggest following on this video sharing website, but still, I really want to use this bit of a platform that I do have for good things. That is why recently you may have noticed that I have been trying to create more videos discussing topics that, yes, might be slightly more controversial or unimportant to some, but are also things we need to address. I really hope you guys are okay with me making these types of videos because today we have another topic that has given me a bit of a feeling that I need to talk about it. And this is the rise of sapphic K-pop accounts on Twitter, whether their intentions are as they seem, and the effect this may be having on not just the K-pop community, but also the LGBT plus community. Before we start, I think it's really important for me to mention that this video is just my thoughts on the situation, and I am in no way intending to direct any hate towards the people running these accounts. I don't know them personally, and I absolutely do not condone any online abuse towards them. For that reason, I will not be mentioning any specific usernames in this video, because they're already everywhere, and it's not up to me to send out a witch hunt. The main reason for me creating this video is to add my 2 cents on the situation I see unfolding in front of me as somebody who is a member of the LGBTQIA plus community. There's probably so many more disclaimers I could put here, but if people have something negative to say, I'm sure they will, regardless of how long I spend justifying myself before we start, so let's just begin. First of all, I'll explain a little bit of what these types of accounts actually are. Those of us on K-pop stan Twitter may have noticed more pictures and videos appearing on our timelines belonging to accounts under various names, all centering around K-pop content for sapphics. The word sapphic is usually used in relation to lesbianism or any identity within the LGBT community who refers to themselves as a woman or non-binary loving women. So basically, these accounts were created with the intention of providing content which would be particularly appealing to this audience. I don't necessarily think these accounts are new, and they're most definitely not just unique to K-pop. Accounts providing these kind of contents for different interests, of course, have existed forever. I just think that with the way Twitter's algorithm works, we have seriously been seeing a lot more of them lately, because one person will like or retweet something by one of these accounts, putting it on their followers' timelines, they like it too, and of course it spirals from there. Because of this, some of these accounts have grown to an absolutely massive size that I'm sure the admins themselves would have never expected. The biggest one I can think of off the top of my head that I've seen has around 100,000 followers at the time of me creating this video. And more people have been starting to open these accounts now, some focusing on posting pictures and clips of all K-pop female idols, some focusing more on specific groups. As we all know, South Korea is still quite a conservative country, especially when it comes to being open about your sexuality, and even more when you consider the entertainment industry and the lack of K-pop idols who are able to openly discuss their sexuality even if they wanted to. So I completely understand the purpose of these accounts being created. Now that K-pop is only growing more and more globally every single day, international fans who may not need to be in such a conservative position would like the opportunity to share their feelings towards people. Therefore, I will never know this for certain, but I do believe that some of these accounts posting K-pop content specifically for sapphics did start off with good, positive, and quote-unquote pure intentions. I think they did create these accounts specifically for sapphics, not to cater towards everybody, but they cannot exactly help or control who their account reaches. I'll be honest, I see a lot of content from these accounts on my timeline due to my following list interacting with them, and it's never really fazed me, as being a member of the LGBT community means that I always welcome various content on my timeline that appeals to those like me. I've seen these accounts posting pictures or videos of my faves, and I've liked them. The intention of me creating this video isn't to say I'm completely against these accounts or I refuse to interact with their content or anything. The issue I think we need to address here is that although these accounts may have started with genuine intentions of providing content where they felt it was lacking, my concern is now that, like with anything, the more it grows, the easier it is to lose control of the original goal, and said goal now becomes a more harmful one. So let's now discuss some of the issues that start to arise from the growth of these K-pop sapphic accounts, to both idols and the general public. over-sexualization of K-pop idols and minors. We need to address this one first because I feel like it's the foundation that all my other points will link back to, the sexualization, you know? And it's so important too. Although these accounts don't necessarily always advertise themselves as not safe for work or NSFW, some of them are very much teetering in that direction. They just won't admit it. Not all of them, of course, like we've already said. I'm sure some of them will still be trying to maintain purer intentions, but others, I think they're either having to move past that or they were never really out to do good from the get-go. These type of Sapphic accounts share pictures and videos of K-pop idols in compromising positions, say perhaps in a game they were playing, or if they were dancing on stage and their outfit wasn't exactly the most concealing. Of course, when they're moving around, their clothing naturally will too, so we'll get pictures and fan cams of things like that. This sort of content, whether these admins want to admit it or not, will attract a certain crowd who are there to see NSFW K-pop content, not to share their love for certain idols with people of the same sexuality. They will then start to get a following of people who specifically want to see that sort of thing, which will make them then have to post it more. This opens us up to a whole world of repercussions because, of course, like I just said, I think we need to discuss the impact this will have on minors first and foremost here as an example of one of those repercussions. Like we already mentioned, the rise of bigger K-pop Sapphic accounts has of course led to people stemming off this and creating their own accounts for similar content, more directed towards certain groups. The issue with this is we all know full well that a lot of female idols currently active are very young. Some of them are still underage. For example, I found K-pop Sapphic accounts specifically for LE SSERAFIM. These accounts are posting pictures and clips of their maknae Unchae, who literally only just turned 16 years old. Another account centers around the group IVE and have posted content of their maknae Liso, who is only 15 years old. This is just two examples, but there will be more, I'm afraid. Weirdly enough, a great number of these accounts all seem to reference each other's usernames in their bios, so it is very likely that they are run by the same person or people. In a way, I kind of hope they are, because that gives me a little bit of a reassurance that the problem isn't as big as I think it is, and it's not like there's tons and tons of people making accounts posting content of underage idols. Does that make sense? But still, I'm from the era where we used to have Twitter accounts dedicated to posting pictures of K-pop idols or groups you liked, but it was just pictures you thought were cute from like fan signs or something. Nothing more than that. Heck, I remember when I was 15, I had a Twitter account dedicated to posting pictures of different K-pop idols wearing the color pink, because pink's my favorite color. It was always as innocent as things like that, you know? And even if these K-pop Sapphic accounts may have also started off with innocent intentions, I'm concerned that in the wrong hands they are being used to instead encourage the sexualization of young people, rather than spreading content to make a usually isolated community feel included. I mean, I know it's common sense to most of us, but I still feel like I kind of need to say it anyways. Absolutely no individual under the legal consenting age should ever be subjected to sexualization, whether they're aware of it or not, and this does not change for these young girls just because they're in the public eye. In fact, don't you think it's kind of our jobs as the consumers of K-pop content to try and protect them more on the inside where we can? We can't control the world around us or how their company treats them, and there's a lot of evil out there, but surely as people within the fandoms, aka our own world that we can control, you think we wouldn't want to add to the amount of highly inappropriate treatment that is already out there for youngsters? I know I don't want to. Let's now also discuss who could really be running these Sapphic accounts, and resultantly the impact this could be having on the LGBTQIA community and outsider perceptions of us. I think I said it already, but part of me really wants to believe that these accounts were first created for Sapphics with the idea of providing content for fellow women or non-binaries loving women to engage with, so they don't feel like they're alone in their feelings for what can still be seen as quite a conservative topic in some places. We will never know for certain if this is the case, of course, because like I said in the disclaimer, I don't know any of the people running these accounts. However, due to the kind of content that some of these accounts have been known to post as of late, I have actually seen a few tweets on Twitter speculating whether or not some of these K-pop for Sapphics accounts are actually being ran by Sapphics at all, due to the kind of content they are posting and how much of it is edging towards not safe for work now. This is all speculation, but as time has gone on, more people are starting to believe that there's a potential that some of these accounts are actually perhaps being controlled by cisgendered straight males posting NSFW content of female idols under the facade of being Sapphic themselves. I don't want to start pointing fingers where we do not have enough evidence to do so, but we also cannot ignore how logical this explanation could actually be. You may be thinking, but why? What's the point? Can't they just create accounts posting what they want to? Well, yes, of course they can. They know that. But it will not be as widely accepted, as they will be seen as another male looking for opportunities to exploit women. Let's not deny it. We all know almost all entertainment industries are exploiting women, including K-pop, Idol just released a whole song and music video about it. If an individual who isn't LGBT disguises himself as a woman posting content for other women, the general public would be a lot more likely to trust them, because we as women are not known for trying to take advantage of each other to the extent men try to take advantage of us. We are more inclined to trust one another because we can relate to each other. We understand the struggles of being a woman, of being over-sexualized or being LGBT, etc. Just to piggyback off this, I really wanted to believe that the idea of K-pop content for sapphics wasn't being used to exploit women. I really did. So I tried to have a quick look on Twitter to see if I could find similar styles of accounts being run by gay men providing content for gay men. I couldn't find any. I'm not saying I can guarantee that they 100% don't exist. I'm not Elon Musk, I don't own Twitter. Perhaps my searches weren't with the right keywords. But even if there are a handful of these accounts, there is a heck of a lot more accounts posting content of women, supposedly for women. But is it? We don't actually know. And just because it says it's K-pop content for women doesn't mean it's not being consumed by everyone. When you think about it, it's kind of scary. It's twisted because it's yet another way men could have potentially found to cash in on something that started off as something for women to enjoy that has been taken away from us yet again. The LGBT community is very used to having their celebrations of their authentic self being infiltrated by people looking for ways to benefit or profit from it themselves. It's not related as much to our topic or K-pop in general, so I won't go too deep into it, but we only have to look at the way corporations use pretending to support Pride to make profit during Pride Month as a clear example of this. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be pessimistic all the time, but when you come from a background and community of people who were always mistreated, it's really hard not to assume the worst in people in situations like this. I opened up this point by saying we can also discuss the effects this has had on the LGBT plus community and people's perceptions of us. I feel the perceptions people have of the LGBT community will always be all over the place, based on what they think they know about queer people from maybe people they know in real life or things they've seen online or in the media. People in general are very much influenced by things like that, and it does worry me that a lot of these K-pop sapphic accounts could be giving quote-unquote outsiders that they're reaching as they're growing the idea that us LGBT individuals are only concerned with fetishizing people for our own personal or sexual gain, rather than stopping for a second to think that, of course, there's so much more to identifying as queer than what you're seeing on these accounts. Gay women have always been over-sexualized as some sort of fantasy. I won't say that's an opinion, this is a fact. And some of these accounts are feeding into this idea that women liking women is an object for men's desire. And these accounts may not even be run by LGBT women or non-binaries anyway. It could be men posting things for other men under this facade of women, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, outsider opinions of the LGBT community are what they are. I've spent many a breath and a lot of time trying to change the views of homophobes and ignorant people before I realised I won't waste any more. My worry here is that the rise of these accounts potentially being handled by the wrong individuals also affects us from the inside out too. And I think this may be a much more dangerous problem than influencing the way outsiders view us, because I don't want it to get to a point where we have yet another environment taken away from LGBT individuals where we are comfortable being ourselves and expressing our true feelings. A lot of us have spent many years walking on eggshells, not really knowing exactly who to trust, what is appropriate to share with who, and when we finally create our own trusted spaces, they're potentially no longer trustworthy. It's a very harsh reality that I think we have to come to terms with now, and I hate that it has to be this way, but I think it's probably safer for all of us. Let's wrap up this video with some final thoughts in conclusion. I don't want anybody to think this video is me trying to tell you to unfollow these accounts or stop supporting them. I mean, of course, the ones that are posting content of minors, unfollow them, report them, do whatever you can to get them gone. We need them to be off the internet. But with this video, I'm also wanted to raise some awareness just to remind people to please be vigilant of who you're putting your trust in, especially online where people can hide behind anonymity and create whatever persona they want. I spotted some of the red flags in these accounts, and I have seen people starting to pick up on things too. I don't want to tell anybody not to embrace their sexuality or to find a safe space for them to be open about it, but not everybody will have those same pure intentions to find a safe space for them. A lot of people will be taking this idea, running with it, and creating something much more sinister simply because they can. We can't exactly stop them from doing so, and me making this video won't reach them or make them think, yeah, I should really change my ways. But at the very least, those of us who aren't gremlins to society can remind ourselves and each other to be respectful of everybody where we can. K-pop idols are not an exception. They are not a tool or prop for ill-willed people to get their rocks off, and neither is our LGBTQIA+ community. Okay guys, and that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far. I know I said in the beginning that my voice was going, but because I had to record this audio so many times because my mic and new computer hate me, I think my voice is finally coming back. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this issue down in the comments if you're comfortable sharing. I know this is quite a controversial topic, so if you are not comfortable sharing your thoughts, that is completely okay. I understand entirely. If you're new here and have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell. That will let you be the first to hear whenever I upload. And as always, my social medias will be on screen. That is my Twitter and my Instagram. I always follow back fellow K-pop stans, so let's be friends. I'll see you next time. Bye guys!
Yeah.